Lit crypto traders, is it time for us to be buying crypto because the market is pumping? Should we look to sell our crypto or should we look to take a short position to make money because the market might crash? You guys have been sending me a lot of questions today about more trading instead of actual investing in the market as a whole. So that's what we're going to be focused on. We'll be focused on seeing where the market is going to go in the short term, how you should be looking at trading if you're looking to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. We're going to talk about Arrow Trade. I'm going to answer all the questions you guys have been asking me. Let's deep dive into it. First thing we're going to talk about is Mama Bitcoin, you guys. All right, this is the Bitcoin chart. Mama Bitcoin actually had a break towards the upside. So this is very different than what's been happening before. All of this was just consolidation. It was just a fight between the bulls and the bears to see who was actually going to win, and the bears ended up winning. We saw this first original consolidation happen right here. Boom, boom, boom. And then prices end up breaking towards the downside. It got rejected right here. 90K price range got rejected again at 90K, got rejected again at 90K, got rejected at 90K. And then it broke up, you guys. It broke up above this level of resistance right here. And it was a traditional breakout. Here we saw prices ran up and then it had a pullback and then it continued to run back towards the upside. So great. And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the entire market pump right now. You guys can see everything is green, green, green. We have green bubbles everywhere. Even our coin market cap, we can see the 24-hour, everything is green. The 7-day, everything is green, 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 green. Overall, the entire market is moving up quite a bit. And we saw this coming because on Friday, right, we exited our short position because I'm like, hey, based on what I see in the market, it's moving too aggressively because the market will find reasons to take out everyone who's trading on leverage. And when we go to our leverage, you guys, this is today. If we go today, we can see, oh, well, there's people who are leaning more towards taking short position, meaning making money when the market is moving in the downwards direction. They want to make money as prices move down. Now, if I switch this to the 7-day, look at this, you guys. For the 7-day, overwhelming amount of people are leaning towards the downside, meaning everyone was trading on leverage. People were borrowing money, 100x leverage. Look at that, 100x leverage. A lot of dark orange, right? And they're saying, hey, prices are going to go down. Prices are going to go down. So then the market makers, the boogeyman and his crews, they come in and what do? They squeeze the market, right? They force prices to go up. They force people to get liquidated. People will exit their position. They sell it at a loss. Whatever the masses is doing, we have to look to do the opposite, right? I always say that again and again and again. And the masses were betting the prices were going to go down. And now we saw prices actually went toward the upside. So now that raises the next question that you guys are probably going to ask. Well, Naicke, how high will it go? Is it a good time to take a long position to make money as prices are going up? Absolutely not. It is not a good time to take a long position, you guys, because taking a long position means you're buying right now, regardless if it's Bitcoin or another crypto, you're buying right now expecting prices to run up even higher. The likelihood of prices skyrocketing right now is slim. Now, can it happen? Yes, it can happen, but it is slim. And the reason why is if you take a look at our RSI, where is our RSI right now? Towards the upside. You guys, the BTC controls the market and Mama Bitcoin doesn't get overextended towards the top side on the RSI regularly. Like it happens maybe once a month, maybe twice in 1 month. It's something that doesn't happen very often. Here we can see the overextension on the RSI. When was the last time we saw overextension on BTC on the RSI under this time frame? Look at this. Last time this happened was when? You guys, look. You see, it takes a while. Was right here. Last time it happened was right here in October, right? So that's what I'm saying. This isn't an event that typically happens every single week. It doesn't happen like 3-4 times a month. It doesn't happen consistently. So, and last time when it did happen, what happened? Boom. We saw prices drop towards the downside. We can even see prior to that, it happened again. Oh, right here. When did that happen? This was beginning of October. Here we saw overextension towards the top side and then boom, prices move towards the downside. So if you think buying right now is a great decision, it's not, because overwhelming amount of data is telling us prices have extended toward the top side, right? So it's like someone who's running up a hill, right? They're running up a hill, they're exerting a lot of energy, right? And then after they start getting tired, then you get a little bit exhausted. And then after they'll have to stop and they'll have to take a break. And then when they do that, that's when we'll start seeing prices come down. So we don't know exactly when the market's going to get tired. It may get tired. I doubt it's going to happen tomorrow because right now it's Sunday, right? But it might get tired on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. But sooner or later, we're going to see prices come down. Now, what level do we have to see prices actually hit to say, hey, this is actually really, really bullish? Now, if you actually pay attention to how prices moved prior to this, we saw coin crash all the way down towards that 80K price range. This was 81K. And then it ended up running up. Where did it run up to? Pretty much where it is right now. If I were to label this price, as you guys can all see, look at this range. Very similar to where we are right now. So even though the market is skyrocketing, prices are pumping, you have to realize we've been here before. It's nothing like, nothing too magical, right? And I don't want you guys getting tricked because you guys can see we hit this range right here. We got rejected. We hit this range right here. We can even extend this properly to actually show that this entire area right here is an area of resistance. Because every time prices hit this range, it got rejected, hit here, got rejected, hit here, got rejected, once, got rejected again, twice, got rejected. So we can see overall, there's multiple point of contact showing, hey, this is a level where prices will struggle at. We're overextended on the RSI. We've been rejected multiple times every time we come here. Now we're seeing BTC come towards the same level in which it got rejected multiple times. So this is typically telling me that we have more things supporting that prices are going to go down instead of prices running up. And when BTC goes down, you guys know what's going to happen with everything else. Ethereum or XRP or BNB or Solana, your Tron, your Doge, your ADA, everything else is going to end up moving towards the downside as well. Now the question gets raised, well, can you possibly take a short? You can take a short, but what you have to be mindful of what day of the week we're in, right? Like right now, when I'm shooting this video, it is Sunday. The market is pumping on a Sunday night, meaning there's such a high likelihood tomorrow morning when the New York Stock Exchange open their pre-markets, we're going to see high numbers. We're going to see a lot of green. So then 9:30 when their markets open as well, it's going to be green. We're going to see those markets pump. So then that means there's a high likelihood that markets might extend even higher just because Sunday night is already pumping and that bullish momentum from the Asian market that's currently open, the European market that's currently open will carry over to the US market. So we may see prices actually pump a little bit higher before we really start seeing it come down. So if you are going to take a short position, make sure that your cut loss is set at a level where you know, hey, prices might run up above this range, above the previous range, which is close to that 94, almost 95K BTC price range. Now, when I look at Ethereum is actually moving very, very similar to Bitcoin, except for one little thing that's on Ethereum that I did notice. That if you look at ETH, same thing, right? Major level of resistance. Right here, we saw prices hit this area, consolidation, ended up breaking all the way down. Here we saw prices ran up, ended up breaking down. Here we saw it actually broke it, but then it was just a fake out and prices ended up coming back down, right? And now we're seeing prices come back towards that same level. The only thing is here we saw rejection. So then we have this level of resistance that I drew out and it seems as if it's getting rejected as well. So here we can be moving, it's slightly different because it could be creating this symmetrical triangle where prices will move like this, right? We're seeing this movement and then it has a huge run towards the upside or a huge drop towards the downside. So we'll see if this symmetrical triangle actually holds or if the symmetrical triangle doesn't hold and what price is just simply doing is bouncing between the major level of support and resistance, which is this range as a whole, right? Boom, 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 boom. But overall, ETH is moving very similar to Bitcoin where it's at that major level. And if it continues to run up toward this level, prices are probably going to go down. We're already seeing the overextension right here with the RSI. which just confirms we have a lot more bearish momentum, which prices are most likely to move down than we can to see prices continue to just skyrocket and Ethereum hit that $4,000 price range that everyone wants it to. I almost forgot this, and this is very important, is that I'm noticing a bit of gap within the market. Now, when I look at Ethereum, it's like a small gap, but when I look at Bitcoin, it's like a larger gap. So that means that the Bitcoin gap supersedes the Ethereum gap, and I'm going to show you guys that because whatever mama Bitcoin does, all the other little babies are going to do, right? And everything else is just a baby of a Bitcoin. So you guys, if you look at the chart right now, we can see that this is a pretty big jump, right? Like, this is clearly a jump where prices just ran towards the upside, just whoop, right? And created this huge gap right here. Now, prior to this gap, we have this candlestick, right? This is what we call a doji candle, where prices wasn't sure what direction was going to go. But this gap, what this tells me, it validates what I've been saying, where prices are moving up, great, but it's moving up a little too fast and there's a little too much of an extension towards the upside. We see our RSI is up, so prices will fill this gap. It may fill this gap tomorrow. It may fill it on Wednesday, on Thursday. We don't know the exact date. I cannot see the future, but we do know prices are going to fill this gap, meaning we're going to see BTC come back down towards this 90K price range. Hence why it's not the best idea to take a heavy leverage long position right now. Now, when I take a look at Ethereum, I do see a gap, but the gap is really small. What you guys can see right here, it's really small gap right there. But regardless, because BTC has a large gap and BTC is going to come down, Ethereum is going to follow suit and do the exact same thing. Now, one crypto that's moving really, really interesting is actually Solana. And the reason why is that Solana is moving a little bit different because if you look at Solana's major level of resistance, it's all the way up here. Solana's major level of resistance, it's closer towards that 146 price range. Here we can see prices ran all the way up here and then it got rejected, attempted to run back up, got rejected. We see another rejection, and here we can see another rejection as well. So here's where our major level of resistance is. Coin is at its major level, is at a major level of resistance. Ethereum is at a major level of resistance. But we look at Solana, it's actually not there yet. It's actually still in the middle. So this can actually be a really good thing, meaning that if we see prices run up, right, and it extends significantly, knowing that our RSI, let me move my head, my big head, so I'm not in the way, right? If our RSI extends all the way, if Solana runs all the way up here, when our RSI is already up here, oh my goodness, baby girl, that is a beautiful short. That is, my mouth is watering, just getting, just getting excited, juicy short, right? Because we know now the RSI is going to be extended so high, and now we're shorting into a very strong resistance where we know prices, right, where prices has shown to constantly get rejected. So with Solana running towards the upside, it has to just exert so much energy, right? And this isn't a move that it can just happen within 1 or 2 hours, a fairly big move, right? Just towards the bottom of that, we're looking at almost a 6% pump on Solana. But when it does happen, if it does play out, and it could potentially be a really good short position to then ride it back down. Now, let's break down the arrow trade in detail because you guys been asking me about the arrow trade. Now, with the original arrow trade, right? This range right here, as we can all see, has been that level of resistance. Let's first take a step back. Arrow did this really weird break towards the upside, right? Like it just spiked out of nowhere, right? Because this structure typically will break towards the downside, but it ended up running up perfectly fine. This structure was the exact same thing as here, right? We're seeing prices perform we're seeing these lower highs, we're seeing these higher highs, and then prices broke up, which was odd. Then we saw the same thing play out here, but now it played out how it usually does with prices breaking towards the downside. And ever since that massive run back towards the upside, prices have just been getting crushed, obliterated, and moving towards the downside. Now, here we saw the overextension. So right here, technically you did nothing wrong. You shorted at a great time. Here we saw prices ran up here, right? Every time prices hit this level, we can see it was a strong level of support, meaning it's a strong level of resistance. It hit here, it got rejected and came down. Hit here again, little pullback, and now it's still making its way towards the upside. Now, what in the world is causing Arrow to pump so much? Well, we have to realize that number one, Arrow is a smaller cap crypto project. If you look where it's currently ranked, Arrow's currently ranked within the 80. Look at this. I'm still scrolling. We're still trying to find Arrow. Arrow is within the 80, you guys. There you go. I found it. Arrow's currently at 88. Arrow's pumping. It is up for the past 7 days, 24%. So we have to keep in mind that the smaller cap crypto, it's not super small, but it is a smaller cap crypto compared to our big 5, our big 10, our big 20. They're more volatile to the market, meaning that yes, prices will pump more aggressively, but when it drops, it will drop more aggressively. Now, here is what's very interesting that a lot of people are probably going to miss, right? Okay, if you look at Arrow, actually shows that prices are moving up, right? Here we saw prices move up right here, boom. And then we saw prices move up right here again. Okay, interesting. So now we're seeing that it's performing higher highs, right? There's more bullish coming in. There's more people buying. People are becoming very bullish. But when we measure the strength of it, here we can see this was a big pump. Here we saw the overbought category. And now we're seeing just this small pump. So this is moving upwards, but here we're actually moving downwards, right? We're seeing a divergence in the movement between our RSI and our actual price action. So what this is telling us is that a lot of bulls are getting a little bit tired. The buying pressure, like for prices to like continually explode and start moving upwards higher and higher, is getting weaker, right? So with that getting weaker, with less money, right? People throwing money, with less buying power running up, sooner or later, it's going to drop, right? It's going to get weaker because the RSI is measuring how strong is the upward movement compared to the previous upwards movement. So it's telling me, hey, Arrow's getting a little bit weak here. We may see prices of Arrow really start to kind of slow down and prices potentially break towards the downside. And that is typically what I do expect. We're already seeing it. It went too high. Prices are probably going to move downward sooner or later, but we just don't know. And what we have to keep in mind that this is a big week in crypto because number one, everything that's happening between Trump, the US and Venezuela, that plays a huge role because it's not just US and Venezuela. It's US, Venezuela, China's also getting involved in that. Russia's also getting involved in that. And that's affecting the market, right? What moves crypto isn't just crypto. What moves crypto is number one, geopolitics, right? Geopolitics affects the market. If Trump says, hey, Canada's becoming the 51st state, right? Like, whoa, the market's going to react to that. If they say, hey, we're going to war with this country, the market's going to react to that, right? If we hear, hey, unemployment rate is at this percentage, it's dropped down to this one, CPI data, like all of those things will affect the stock market and it ripples down to affecting our crypto if prices are going to go up and down. So that situation between US and Venezuela is going to affect the prices of our crypto. And what we have to realize that not just looking at it from the surface level, but looking at it a lot deeper. But that will be a video for another day. But just keep in mind that this week, the actual full week of January, will probably be a very volatile week in the market. So you will see prices pumping. And keep in mind, I always say this, you guys, we do not buy on green candles. We sell on green candles. We buy on red and we sell on green. But if you want to take a short position, making money when markets are going down, That's when we enter on green candles and we take our profit on the red candle.